Hello, hello. Hope everyone is having a great day today. We're about to get started with the webinar in just a moment. I'm going to give everyone a chance to trickle in, and then we'll get started at 1 o'clock Central Time on the dot. Looks like we are going to have a full crowd today. All right. Well, I'm sure some more will be coming, but we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Rob Davidson, and today we're going to be talking about Church360 Ledger. Church360 Ledger is Concordia Technology Solutions. It's our accounting software that's custom built for churches. We're going to go through everything at, we like to say a 30,000 foot view to give you a sense of everything that's in the software to help you evaluate if this is the right software for your church. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with some intro slides, and then we're going to move into kind of an overview, walkthrough tour of the software. All right. Oh, and before we get started, so you have the chance to input questions that you have into the stream, the webinar that we're doing today, so that I can see them and read them aloud for everyone. I'm the only one doing the webinar today. I don't have a moderator with me, so I might not catch them, in which case I will be responding to all of them via email. I'll be emailing you from my personal email, but you can email them, me, our team, any questions you have at ctscommunity@cph.org. Myself or one of our software consultants will be in touch with you to answer any and all questions that you have. So, moving forward. All right, so on today's webinar, like I said, we're going to be talking about Church360 Ledger. This is an accounting software that's built specifically for church treasurers, pastors that have to do some of these responsibilities, and financial volunteers. So we do this, we make this software because we believe in supporting your ministry with technology. That's what we do best. We've been making software since the early 80s, and now we're excited to show you what we're doing in almost the mid 2000s, 2024, of what that looks like for our modern church needs. All right, so some key people. I've mentioned Concordia Technology Solutions. We are the technology division of Concordia Publishing House. We like to say that we are one of the very few church management software companies that build software for church workers by church workers. There's many church management software companies out there, but some are just kind of big, publicly traded, super expensive companies that don't really have that understanding of what it's like to serve. And it's really incredible to be surrounded by so many of our programmers and support teams are active people who work in churches. And so I think that gives us a significant leg up at understanding what it's like to actually be in a ministry. And it gives us a glimpse to being able to truly serve your needs, which is what we're all about. My name is Rob Davidson. I'm the manager of digital products here at CTS. And the other key person here is your church. Your needs are our priority. Everything we do for you is so that you can be more efficient and impactful in your ministry. Okay, so like I said, We're going to be looking at ledger from a 30,000-foot view. I by no means am an accountant, and so there's going to be questions that you may have that I'm going to need to circle back and talk to our team about. But again, feel free to send in your questions to either the webinar software itself, or just sending us an email. I want to make sure that you truly understand ledger and all the nooks and crannies more than what I can just serve you with in this webinar today. That being said, I've been studying up a lot, and I'm excited to show you this software that is built to streamline your financial workflows in your church. Okay, so whenever we look at software as a solution, we have to understand the problem. Churches have very unique financial and accounting needs. Most solutions fall short of meeting those needs or create more work than they should. For instance, if you use QuickBooks or hear of a church that uses QuickBooks, that software is built for businesses, not churches. So there's going to be differences in the features that aren't fully built to what a church needs, and it's actually going to take it in kind of a different direction that causes you to have to do more work to wrestle the software to meet your needs. Church360 Ledger, on the other hand, is built for churches. So what is Church360? So it's a cloud accessible software, so you can access it from anywhere, whether or not it's from your home, from the office, on the go, wherever. Anywhere you have an internet connection. Whether your church treasurer is on your paid staff or a volunteer working from home, they can access your database anywhere. It's streamlined. So we want to keep this very simple, right, when it comes to transaction paths and you're transferring and depositing money, making payments, writing a check, creating journal entries. We want you to be able to do your work in the fastest but accurate way possible. That's also why we go about this in a very straightforward reporting way. So when we show the reports within the software, we want to keep it really streamlined. So whether or not you're a high-level accountant or you are a volunteer with next to no, accounting experience, this was then built for you. All reports can be exported to Excel and printed for your own management after the fact. Also, it's secure. So each of transactions automatically records a journal entry, and debits and credits automatically appear in the affected accounts. For additional transparency, we'll be showing you today an event log that tracks all of your activities throughout all of the books and accounts within your software account. You can change and update the roles and different permissions, and this ensures that only the right people have access to the right information, and it keeps your data secure. Okay, so what parts make up the software? Software helps churches do a lot of different tasks. So here's just a few of the things that Ledger does, and we'll be taking a look at some of these today. So we have a budgeting component, helps you do transactions. We have a chart of accounts, event log, like I mentioned. We can import payroll information. We can sync automatically with church management software. We have reports, logins and roles, check printing, and reconciliation. Again, I'm only going to be showing a few of those today, but again, this gives you a glimmer of everything Ledger can do. So how does this all benefit your church? I look at it as about 3 different ways. It helps you with task management. That means time savings for busy church workers. Church focused, it's streamlined for your daily workflows, right? So again, we're looking at a component of that time savings because it's built to your unique needs. And then, like I've mentioned, it's smart and secure. So it's easy to train volunteers and new staff when your church office experiences turnover, which means you're going to have less lost information than if you were doing it manually, right? If you got papers or stored on a personal computer, you might lose that if someone says, hey, they moved to a different state and can no longer serve in the church office. Having this web-based environment makes sure that all your data is in the same place easy to understand no matter your level of accounting background. Okay, so we're going to start our demonstration here. So give me just a moment to re-share this screen. So you have to look at me for a second. I'm so sorry. And here we go. Okay, so you should see here, this is the home screen of Ledger. And we're going to start off by taking just a very general tour. So just of the kind of this main view and then all of the kind of areas that we can jump off to from it. So you can see this is the home screen. Up here would be your church name. If you click this, it drops down to the different books that we'll have built, and I'll show you how to do that today. We have the header bar. So this is your print queue. This is your pending transactions by clicking this one. You have your different reports and your event log. And then you have your settings all through here. We'll jump into a lot of that today. And then you have your user settings, which is just email, password, that kind of jazz, very simple. So let's see what, I have my notes here. I want to make sure I'm showing everything I need to. Oh, and whenever you're using this software, whether or not you've started a free 37-day trial with us or you own the software, if you click this Ledger button, that takes you to the home menu. We also have this omnibar here. So this helps you get anywhere within the software. So it helps you access other assets or liability funds or expenses, that kind of liability cards here you can see. So it gives you a chance to really quick jump into wherever you're going versus just kind of clicking through multiple views. What's it called here? Another thing we have here is the date selector. So I can go ahead and select whether Q1 or Q2, Q3, and so then it changes the information accordingly. Right, just a really quick, handy, quick use tool. Oh, and this chart here, this will change based on what you're viewing. So sometimes, so let's make sure we'll go back to, there we go. So there you can kind of see this graph, it's moving that way versus this one might have a little bit more movement there. So that changes depending on the view that you're in. Okay, so I think that's the basic stuff. So let's jump into settings here and quick look. This is general settings. Again, this is church name, customer number that's associated with your account, the check style that you use, and your church address. Very simple. But then let's jump to, okay, oh, and it's important to note, so this is split up into two different views here. So you can see this line here, this divider. So the things up here, these are unique to the book you're in, whereas these down here below the line are unique to your account. So going through, let's take for example, so users and roles here. So this shows you all of the users that have access to Ledger. So we have a whole bunch of different emails here, and you can see here that they have different levels of permissions based on their title. So we have administrators, we have assistants, a youth minister. We can always add a new one, new role, to a new email. And then you can see here, if we go to roles, we can see the different roles that are built out that all have different permissions. This allows you to include other people to help organize everything in your system. If you have a larger team or just have a volunteer that you want to just give them a sliver of responsibilities within the software, you can kind of set up their roles to be much more limited. Give it a unique title for their position and everything. Next thing we're going to look at is settings, home, leisure button. We're going to look at books here. So these are the different books. So sometimes within a church you have different like kind of organizations that split off of it, whether or not they're a small group or they're the school. So you can create a book for each one. You know, sometimes the K through 8, it has a different set of books than the daycare or the ECC. Whatever your church needs, you can build a unique book and do the accounting accordingly for that. Also, this is based in your account here. We have payees. So we'll be referencing this later. So this is a list of all the payees that you have in your software, and you can easily make a new one. So that data is tracked and corresponding to different expenses and liabilities that you're setting up. Users roles and okay. So right before, so one more thing. So it's important to how we split up the software within Ledger. You're going to have 4 different kinds of accounts. So you have your assets accounts. You know, this is what you have and where it's located. Liabilities, this is what you owe. Income, money coming into the church, organized by where you're using it, and expenses. I think a lot of us naturally understand incoming and expenses. But if you're not an accounting person like myself, you know, assets and liabilities, that might take a little bit to kind of set in. And I'm going to show you some examples of them being used within the software. But feel free to reach out to our team if you have any questions about using the software and definitions and all that. So let's go ahead and create a new book. We're going to create a new book. And we're going to call it, what did I have for the book name? VBS account. And that's, there we go. Okay, so we're going to start this from the ground up. And we're going to, there we go. Book was created. And then let's go here, and I want to go to chart of accounts. So this is the chart of account for the main software that we have here. Might have to do a quick reload just to get that to drop down. There we go. CCS, this is the VBS account. So you can see this is a blank slate. So when you start up your software, before any information gets put in, this is what you'll be seeing. So if I want to build out my chart of accounts, I'm going to go to settings, and then I'm going to click it right here. Okay, so let's start filling this out, and I'm going to do just a very bare bones kind of setup. Obviously, when you're setting up your church, you're going to have a lot more of this, and I'll show you what our bigger kind of demo account looks like. But I don't want to overwhelm you to start, or myself, and so I'm going to keep this really, really simple. So we're going to create a new category within assets. We're going to call that bank. We're going to submit that. Okay, so that's kind of the big top level grouping of everything that goes underneath it. Now I'm going to make a new account here, and we're going to make a checking account. And this account number is optional. You can either number your accounts based on your own way, or it can be based off of the account number that's actually associated with the account you're referencing. We can write checks from this account, and we're going to put $500. Is that it? Okay, submit. And we're going to do one more. We're going to do savings. We're not going to be able to do checks from this account. We're going to put $1,000 in it. Submit. Okay, next thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to put these right underneath. Whoop. Come on, Rob. Oh, there we go. Cool. So you can see now this has been totaled into the bank category here. So next thing I want to do is I want to jump into liabilities, and I kind of want to do the same thing. So I'm going to create a new liability account, and then I'm going to put credit card, and I'm going to hit submit. Okay, and now I'm going to do a new account. Now I'm going to do Visa, and the initial balance is, we're going to say $250. Say submit, and then we're going to tab that in. Boom, easy. So we'll do the same thing for expenses. Again, just building out really bare bones setup here. So again, this is for BBS, for Christ Community Church here. So we're going to do a new category. Again, just checking my notes. So this is going to be, we're going to call this the offering category. Submit. And new accounts. So we're going to do a general account. I'm going to put initial balance at 0. We're going to do a VBS account. Am I doing this right? Really want to make sure I'm doing this right for you. Yes. We're going to put 0 here. And then a new account. We're going to make this VBS graphs. I'm just making sure. Income category. Offerings category. Okay. So there we go. Submit. Oh, initial balance 0. Great. And then we're going to do one more category. We're going to do other income. We're going to hit submit, and we're going to add a new account. We're going to do snack sales. And we're going to have initial balance 0, and we're going to very quickly change that. So you can see here. Okay. So you can see that is all rolled up. And then we're going to see here for expenses, pretty similar. We're going to do the VBS expense category. And then a new account is, we're going to do starter kit. And new account. And it's going to be crafts. And new account. Snacks. So there you go. And I think you saw earlier that I wanted to make the account, but I hadn't put in that balance yet. And so you saw that it didn't let me do it. And so that's one of the things that we do in our software is we have a lot of guardrails to make sure that you're not accidentally messing up your chart of accounts or a journal entry, etc. So the last thing I want to do in this view is within here, I want to do a restricted fund in savings. I'm going to call that the mission fund. We're not going to have an account number. Boom. So now we have a mission fund, which is kind of a subset of your savings. And as soon as I created that, you saw that we had an unrestricted account here. So we are going to kind of show, now that we have that chart of accounts, the different pieces that we're moving our, all of our finances through. And that's going to start with a budget. So one thing, I'm going to save changes. Save. Okay. That could have been a mistake, Rob. So we're going to go to budgets. So you can see here that within budgeting, you have things that are grayed out. So these are just totals. But then in here, you have, stuff you can move around. And so let's do this. So let's put $300 in here. And you can see that it automatically spread that throughout the software. VBS, we're going to kind of play with that a little bit. So we're going to put $500 in March, $1,000 here in April, and $1,500 in May, and $200 in June. And so you can see that's changing the software all the way through. Let's do a little bit more here. So let's do other income, snack sales. We're going to say these kids are really, really hungry. So we're going to put $5,000 in snack sales there. And VBS, this is offerings income. let's say that someone in February gives you $150, and that should cover crafts for the whole year for you. Okay. You have other expenses too. So let's say within June and July, I'm not a parent yet, so I don't know exactly when VBS is, but I'm going to guess it's these months. Starter kits, we got 250 there. And crafts are $50 here, $50 here, $100 here. And snacks are $500. Okay, so you can see here in this month I'm going negative. So you can see how within the budgets I can see where I'm, a little bit over and a little bit under. So let's go ahead and save these changes. And again, this isn't set in stone. You can always change this and update it later. But this kind of shows you have what's happening in actuals, and then you have what your budget is. So then the next thing, let's go and start and create a journal entry here. So let's go ahead and so with this, so we're gonna hit assets here. How do I do this? Here we go, new journal entry. Perfect. Okay, so within our journal entries, you can see that within this view, we have a traditional T-chart style accounting. So let's set up an example to show you how the software allows you to record your financial information, but also keeps things really safe and secure for you and accurate at the same time. So moving money from unrestricted. Okay. And you can change the date up here. Payee would be from unrestricted journal entry. No, the journal entry is optional because we're just moving this within ourselves. So then we're going to move it from unrestricted, and we're going to send it to the mission fund. And so we're going to credit $250 here. So you can see this lights up red now. So now you can see this is an unbalanced transaction or journal entry. So then I put the 250 here. So now you can see this is being recorded correctly. So I'm going to save it. And then there we go. We have a new transaction created. So if I want to go and see my transactions, let's see here. Where is that? Should be the general balance sheet. Yeah, so this goes to show that you need to spend a little bit more time with this. All right, let's move on. As you can see, I'm not an accountant. So that should be popping up, but it did not. And oh, I think I know why. Because I'm in 2023 in my view here. So there we go. Okay, this makes more sense. I was like, where is this? It should be popping up. I had my date wrong. So there you go. So you can see this journal entry here. And so I can go ahead and view this journal entry here. Okay, so let's jump back. All right. Oh, so this is the journal entry I was trying to show. There you go. That's so you click the balance. So you can see and edit the journal entry here. Okay. So let's do a transfer. So this is a different kind of transaction. So we have that quick button there that makes this really streamlined. And you can see here that this is going to be an automated version of the journal entry that I just showed you. So this is going to be a little bit more streamlined. So let's put the memo here. I think that's optional, so we're going to move it. Let's do kind of a similar thing to what we just did, a transfer, a $250 from unrestricted, and we're going to put that into the mission fund. So you can see here, this is showing us the exact same thing we just did, but now it's streamlined. So it's faster and easier. So then let's now show kind of a different transaction here. We have deposit. So a deposit, let's do offerings from Sunday. And this would probably happen on a Monday. So let's do this. Actually, let's do it before. There we go. And the payee is optional. So we're going to put that into unrestricted. No, we're going to put that into the checking account. And we're going to make it $500. Okay. But then we're going to put that into a couple different places. So we're going to put in the VBS section, we're going to put 400 here. And then the crafts, we're going to do 50. And then the general, we have 50. Okay, so you can see here that I have now this automatic, it filled this automatically for me, but it is now balancing these accounts so that when people give us money, but it's earmarked for different funds or different reasons, I can list that here. So I'm going to save it, and there we go. Okay, so then next thing, so that was a deposit. So now let me show you a payment. So we're going to have here, we're going to go payment, and we're going to go VBS starter kit, and we're going to pay Concordia Publishing House. Okay, and it's going to come from our Visa, and I think it's like $129.99, but let's make it $100 just so it's easy for us. And the liability is Visa. Am I doing that right? I think so. And then, yep, so it's automatically taking this. And then, actually, it's just that. So it's just an expense in liability. Cool. So I should be able to, it's the liability here. It's the Visa here. Do I get rid of that? Yeah, I think so. Nope, I need the double side, so it's the Visa here. Okay, there you go. Okay, so all right, then we can do the reverse in payment. So now we can go to payment again. We're going to pay that bill, payment to Visa. We go from checking to the Visa. It'll be $100. And save. There we go. So we just kind of balance our credit card there. So we can go here, and we can go to liabilities, and we can see that money moving, that we had that initial balance, and then we had this movement on it, and we paid it, and now we have that $150 left. And you can see we have that movement, that running balance of $150. A little note pops up. Okay, so all right, showed liability. So next thing, this is pretty cool. So this is, checks are similar to payments, but it allows you to print the check. So let's go ahead and here. So we're going to do a VBS crafts in the memo. It's going to be to Concordia Publishing House. It's going to be from our checking account. going to be $100. And there we go. I think that's correct. So then save. Oh, 2 valid line items. This is where I keep getting. So starter kit. That's right. That's what I need to do. Great. Crafts and then save. There we go. So then if I go to home, I go to checks. So this here, you can see that this little icon shows that this check is unprinted. So I can go to my queue here, and then how do I do this? So this is the print queue. There we go. And I can check it. I can print, and then go ahead and print it using, my computer's print pop-up, and it sends it right to the printer. We also can print checks with our, we have a partner, Forms Plus, and we have a link if you're curious about it, where you can get your checks from them. They're a team, I believe, out of Atlanta, but I'm not 100% sure. And we work with them so that all of this is even more streamlined for you. Okay, so, one last thing I want to do here. So I go here, and I can mark this as printed. Confirm. So now that'll leave the queue. Okay, so moving on, we're getting close to being done. Let's do a recurring transaction. So I think that's going to be something that we all use, especially in this day and day. So let's do a payment. Let's do internet, if I can spell right. Payee AT&T. It's going to be coming from checking. It's going to be $100. And I would have needed to set up internet within expenses. So we're going to be doing snacks. So I'm paying $100 to AT&T for snacks. So what a time it is. Okay, so we can now make this a recurring transaction. So this auto pulled this down as internet bill. It occurs every month on the first Monday, let's say. We save that. The recurring transaction was created. Let's go to that, and we can see now the recurring transactions are listed here. And then also that when that comes up, and we're coming up to that Monday, and I think we've already passed it in this month, but that would then show in pending transactions. So it also shows within this transactions that are synced from other places. So if you have deposits through a church management software like Church360 members, you have e-giving set up, or you're just tracking offerings with your church management software, you can sync that so you don't have to input that data into 2 different places. So that then shows you all these places where you have that data coming in as your pending transactions that you can then track and everything. And that shows you that here. So this was a deposit, right? And you can see this was the total amount, and then this is how that was broken down. All right, line the general fund, building fund, education, etc. Okay. And I think that's everything. So I think the last things I want to do here is I want to show you what the software looks like when it's been really used. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump to Christ Community Church. And we're at the home menu here. Okay, so now you can kind of see this is much more built out. So you can see all these lists of different payees and the types of transactions, memos, and the recurring balances. You can go to assets, the different asset accounts here. Etc. Home, same thing for liabilities, payroll deductions, mortgage, etc. we go. And then here's an example of a chart of accounts in the main account. So you can see this could be a lot closer to what yours looks like, especially after a good amount of time has been spent building it out so that it's really reflective of the money moving through and around your church. All right, so that is Ledger. Let me go ahead and share my screen to this different one. So let me go ahead and look at some of the questions. Do we have any questions? No questions yet in the chat. That's great. I'll be checking my email right after this closes up. Thank you all for being here today. I do want to let you know that we are giving away free church software assessments for churches. This is a free service that we do to help people have a peace of mind for their, the different technology that's in their church office. So that would be their church management software, their accounting software, their church website. We'd be able to talk with you. I think it's 106 questions that we have for the audit that goes through each of these pieces here and helps you see if you're actually encountering something that like a bottleneck or a piece of friction that's helping you not preventing you from being as efficient as you can. So we do this absolutely for free. You can always shoot me an email and I'll get you connected with one of our software consultants that will walk you through the whole process. And again, this isn't a sales tactic. This is just us, serving churches so that they either see, hey, this is something we could be doing better to serve our congregation, or hey, this is, you get that peace of mind of like, hey, like we are doing everything we can. We're spending money in the right places when it comes to church management software, and we're getting the most for what we're spending, and it's not causing more harm to the church, but actually our efficiency and our workflows are augmented because of the software. Okay, and then lastly, I'll have this pop up right here. So this is the email that you can contact us at. We're happy to answer any of the questions that you have about church management software. We really appreciate your time today checking Ledger out. We have some fun updates coming down the development pipeline to continue to improve and grow this software that we'll be announcing this year. And we do all this because we love serving you and the churches that you're in, so that we together can grow the church body within the world, the U.S., and impact more people by the good grace of God. So thank you so much for being here today. I'll hang around and grab any last minute questions, but otherwise, I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and feel free to reach out with any questions. We'll be here for you at any time. Thank you so much and have a great day. Oh, we got some questions here. Does Ledger interface with the contributions module? So Ledger interfaces with the offerings module within Church360 members. If you're asking about does Ledger interface with the contributions module of Shepherd staff, that would be the finance module that intersects with Shepherd staff. So that wouldn't be a web-based software, that's a PC-based software. So the estimated cost of Ledger is based off of how many products you have. It goes from, and let me get the right information for you. So if I go to pricing here on the website, so if you're paying for Ledger just by itself, it's $450 a year. But if you have Church360 members, that price drops down to $350 a year. And if you have both Church360 members and our web builder, Church360 Unite, that drops down to $250 a year. We also have monthly options available of $45, $35, and $25 a month, respectively. Can payroll Tom's had a question. Can payroll interface with the software? Can checks be automatically deposited through ACH deposits? I don't believe checks can be automatically deposited yet through ACH deposits. That might be something that's coming down the pipe, but payroll does integrate with the software, but it integrates, actually, yeah, so we have an importer right now. So if I shared my screen for you, Thomas, there we go. So if you can see this, so you can import payroll. I might not know how to do that, actually, but we do have that ability to import the payroll data into Ledger. So right now we have Paychecks as an offering, and we are going to be rolling out Paycor either late this year is the hope. Can you review budget versus actual? I believe so. That would be Kenyetta. That is a question for our software consultants, but I'm pretty sure budget versus actual is something that the software does, as well as like your other question here, can ministry cost centers be set up? So yes, then you can set up different restricted funds that you can, expense things to. 100%. Oh, and for those, how many people are still here? 9 people. So one thing, we got a little bit of time left. I'll just show, this is our event log. So this shows you the security of the software. So this should show you everything that's been changed. Actually, I think there's so many transactions that it's taking a second to load. So the event log shows you both the user and role that you have set up, what they've done, either a transaction or an edit in the software. So we've used this demo account substantially over the past decade, so it just takes a second to load. But you can see here, this is everything. Oh, and it just jumped back because I hit refresh. There we go. So this shows you everything that happens in the software. So we have, Beth here is creating a new transaction. Dave here is creating one. You printed a check for central trust checking. So all of this allows you to see what's going on in the software and who's doing it, which allows you just have that secure audit trail, just to make sure, no mistakes are made or nothing, disastrous is happening to the church. What other questions? Any other questions? I'm happy to stick around for a little bit and be as much as a resource as I can be. And again, feel free to shoot me any questions to the email as well. Any burning desires? It does not look like it. So I will be checking my email. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a blessed rest of your week.